Salam alaikum. What's happening? What's happening? Buenos dias. Peace and blessings be to all guys. Okay. Let's hammer this concept in. Let's hammer this concept in. Did you get it? Let's hammer it in. All right. The hammer in the previous video that I made, right? And I used the analogy of a hammer using the analogy of the hammer was made, right? Or produced or invented to hit things, right? Not only do you use a hammer to hit nails or put nails in, you use a hammer for multiple things, right? You use a hammer to hit metal, to bend, to hit rocks, to whatever, you know? Usually they'll use something bigger than a hammer, stronger than a hammer, a mallet or something, but we're talking about a mallet. It's made out of steel. It has a part in the back that you could use to take nails off, and you could use to pull things up with it or to rip things apart. You can even hit with that back of the hammer, because it looks like it has the ends. It almost looks like a chisel. It has two of them, and it's very sharp. So we know that the hammer was used to work, right? To do work with it, all this different types of sort of work. So you're using the hammer, right, as a tool to perform a duty, right? For a job, something you have to do, whether it's construction, whether it's even in mechanical work. They even use hammers to hit certain things, or mallets and stuff like that. All right, so you're using this tool to do a duty, or to build or construct in the right way. Why was this hammer made for, and what was it made for? Was used and made for work, to do different type of duties that you could use a hammer in. But it was made for good, right? Because you could build, you could construct, you make money with the tool. So in other words, you could look at this being balanced, good, right? Now, when you take a hammer and you grab a nail and you nail the nail on a piece of wood, let's say, use the hammer because of its blunt force and the heaviness of the head or the steel of it. You use it to smack down the hammer, the nail through the wood. That's you're doing an action, right? And it's causing a reaction by going in the wood and producing a hole and splitting the wood and going straight in and binding, or putting one piece of wood bonded with another piece of wood. That's a good way of using a hammer, right? There's nothing wrong with that. That's the purpose. You're using it to do something that's the duty of that hammer to do, right? It was made to work with it, and different types of jobs and different types of things. You can use a hammer. Now, the hammer is good. Nothing wrong with the hammer. The hammer is not evil. The hammer is not bad. But you could take that same hammer and use it the wrong way. Or you could take that hammer and use it for wrong things, for bad things, for unbalanced things, things that are not good, well, balanced. So I could take that hammer and break a car window with it, a house window with it. Was the hammer made for that? No. But I chose to use the hammer to break a window from a car or from a house. I chose to take the hammer and use the back end of the hammer and make a hole on the door. I chose to take a nail and nail a car's tire that's not mine. I put a nail through the tire to ruin someone's tire in someone's car. It's not the hammer. It's the action behind the use of the hammer, which is the human being, the person. So with a hammer, I could do good, and with a hammer, I could do bad. You see how simple? Now, the hammer has a head, right, that hits the nail. And it also has that fork in the back, like I explained. And it has a handle, different lengths, right? If you could find a way of how to understand the animistic side, not only animistic, but what are you projecting to that spirit by using that hammer, and the way that you want to use it in and for. Because like I said, the hammer is not bad, it's a tool. But you could use a hammer to do good or to do bad. So it's how you use it is how that spirit is going to see you using that hammer. And I got you confused, right? You're all over the place. If let's just say, right, I want to use a hammer. And this is very simple. This is nothing spectacular. I'm just giving you not just an idea, but a concept to see if you could understand it better. Let's say I have an idea that consists of using a hammer, and I'm trying to find someone that works, that needs a job. They need a job. They're looking for a job. If I want to, there's many ways, but if I want to, I could introduce a hammer. Physical hammer with handle and all, or I could introduce a patipemba, right? That has a hammer inscribed somewhere in there. Giving the idea, the illusion, the understanding to that spirit that I need to find this person a job. This person needs a job. Just like a hammer is used to perform duties and jobs, and many people, billions of people construct homes and houses and do a whole bunch of things with this hammer. Just the way this hammer is used for, I need this person to find a job. Using the analogy and the understanding of a hammer. Not so difficult to understand. Now, you could use the actual hammer. I'm saying there's a million and one ways to go by doing an insider like that. And I'm only telling you about the tool. That's it. I'm not telling you anything else. What to use, all the other stuff. No. I'm only giving the analogy of what the hammer. And whatever else I do in the ensarta, whether I have the physical hammer or I have a patipemba drawn with a hammer on it, representing what is the hammer represents. But in this form, I'm representing the good part of it. I'm trying to communicate to the spirit that this hammer represents work, and this is what this person needs. The Mfumba, not only by you speaking, by you giving him representations, by you giving him animistic things, they understand. And they say, okay, I understand. This person needs a job. Now, can you use it the other way? To do something negative, unbalanced, evil, wicked, whatever way you want to call it. Of course. It's you at the end of the day that are using certain elements and certain things to reflect, give an idea, an animistic idea of what are you trying to do. So the same way you could use that hammer to do good, the same way you could use that hammer with a physical hammer, introduce it to the bilongo, or you could draw it in a patipemba and introduce that in the bilongo as the idea, the transmission that you are giving that spirit. I'm calling it a spirit because it doesn't have to be an nganga. Of what are you trying to transmit? And then you have to make sure that that spirit understands what are you doing, what are you saying, what are you transmitting, what photographic, animalistic or animistic thing are you representing by adding that animistic part, or by you writing it down or drawing it. You have to make sure that the spirit understands what is that for, what is that doing there, and what is the purpose of that. Not that they're stupid, not that they don't know, but remember, you can use the hammer to do multiple things, good and bad. So you want to make sure that the spirit understands that you're using it for this purpose. That's the whole shebang. And there are many, many other things in Palo and in Kisimalongo that we use and that others use that I don't even know, because they have their own mania. They found a way of how to do certain things, because probably they were somewhere someday and they saw something and they analyzed it, looked at that and seen and say, whoa, look at this here. Oh, wow. And then they put it in their concept, and they use that as another implementation or another way or another tool to add to their bilongo for whatever it may be. 1 second. So I hope you guys got the concept a little bit now clearer. I hope that you can understand me. I know some might laugh, some might joke, some might say, oh, this guy is cuckoo. Because there are people that this concept is not being taught to. But you have to understand that the Kikongo, the Bantu, what literature did they have? What books did they have? Not saying they didn't have any, because they are anthropologists that have found certain writings, a language in a written form, but not all had it, and it wasn't like that. It didn't spread out that way. It was more of a literal dialect speaking, and things were ideas transcribed. You see how you see the ancient languages from Egypt, from the pharaohs? That looks like, right, a whole bunch of symbols and, you know, figurines and things and birds and animals and drawings and stuff like that, right? Because they wrote using animistic ideas, and they inscribed it in a certain way where they knew how to read that. But just wanted to make this video just explaining a little bit more about the animistic idea and the concept, just to see if someone out there will get it and would probably comprehend what I'm trying to say, and see, and just do your research. Do study, look up some good anthropologists, read upon the Congos, and read upon some, or find some elders that know you know, a lot about Palo, and they could probably explain to you, or your own elder if you have one, will give you the concept. Just like I explained, right, the concept of someone looking at you and in their mind saying things inside towards you. And that's why people use these gadgets, these medallions, these necklaces and things to protect them from the evil eye. They get them prepared. So a lot of them don't. They just go by and put it on, but some get it prepared for that, to try to deflect that energy that's being projected to them in that manner. And you'll see a lot of them will have these little eyes, blue eyes or green eyes, and they use those eyes because, you know, you can see them more. They're more pronounced. You know, you got two little eyes with two black dots in it. It's like you really won't even see it. It's hard, but that's just what they use. Resguardos. Anyway, salam alaikum, alaikum salam. And Samila Kutari. This will be the last video of me speaking on that concept, because it does need a lot of understanding, and it does need elders, people to be students to be taught this by their elders. If they do teach it, and if they don't, it's fine. You don't have to use it. You don't have to use that. Every lineage does they think the way they do it, and you have to respect that, and that's the way it is. This is just a concept. You gotta remember, it ain't the only one. It's only a concept. Okay? Be safe, guys. Thumb up the video. I see people watch the video and the thumbs up don't even amount to the people that watch it. If you don't like the video, thumb it down. But if the video was helpful for you, thumb it up. You know? Thank you. Be safe.